Coming live from Munaung here in the sort of region of the, the Indian Ocean? The Indian Ocean. We are here with the 48th edition of ESL Open Cup Asia Division. I'm, of course, your host, Yaku of Ducklings, and with me today we have el buen jugador que fue batizado por los lanzallamas himself, Light_VIP. How are you doing, Light?
Mate, I'm ready. I'm so excited. It's been years since this man has competed in StarCraft. It's been so long. He has been streaming recently. He's been laddering. He's GM. Mate.
He's been streaming where you said repeatedly he would not compete again.
Yeah, I was so surprised.
Oh, here he is?
He's here! Good, mate, do it. Mate, he's a barcode. Who is he?
Well, we have here in the bottom right-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom right-hand corner map, the Red Terra player, currently teamless, but always gonna be repping Axiom. He is known as a barcode to you, but to us, he is a Tuna Terran. We have Ryung.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Death Aura LE, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, currently representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, the PG. It is Rogue.
He's finally back.
He's back. Oh my god. Okay, so we have a lot to go through, right? Because Ryung, he went to the military a while ago. Obviously, before he went to the military, he was competing in Axiom, and there was a period where he was casting with Crank on Crank TV. It was like him, Crank, and Alicia before he went to the military. And when he came back, like, he didn't immediately return to StarCraft. He was like playing TFT. He was streaming.
He was streaming TFT. But yeah, for a while he was also just, streaming his ladder sessions. He's been absolutely getting up there.
Mm-hmm.
Don't quite remember his MMR, but did manage to break into that GM range. And yeah, he repeatedly said something like, "Oh, I don't think I want to go back to competing," or "I don't." There was one quote that recently got clipped by Princess, where he was saying something along the lines of, "I hate StarCraft 2, but I want to play StarCraft 2." Something like that. And yeah, I thought he would just gonna be, somebody who ladders and just, does whatever on that ladder. But I mean, here he is. And I mean, granted, this is a weekly event. It's not like, he's playing in a big qualifier or anything, but, who knows?
Yeah, yeah.
He's still playing against the best in Korea right now.
Exactly. Like, if I recall, because he was laddering a couple of days ago, I think he's around 6K on MMR, which is, competitive with some of these other guys. And definitely. Yeah, I have to wonder, like, how informed is he? As you said, this is just a weekly. It's not like he's signed up for GSL or something like that. But even then, like, you have players like the STC or Alicia. Every now and then, they sign up for, like, the Code A qualifiers or GSL qualifiers, and they might not be competing, but they're still they're still part of the scene. They still want to be a part of the scene.
Without a doubt, and we'll see where that takes Ryung here, because he's got a bit of a what's the word I'm thinking of here, Light? A bit of a tough opponent ahead of him.
I know, right? Like, at least give him like an Armani or a Ragnarok or like a Patience. Maybe just throw him in we're throwing the tuna in the deep end. He's in the tank with a shark like Rogue. Like, oh my god.
And I got a feeling that Rogue, he is gonna be chowing down on some of that hot pepper tuna pretty soon. This is basically an appetizer for him.
Exactly. For those wondering, again, there's so much to say. Like, he's Ryung, his name is Dongwon. Of course, Dongwon is a brand of tuna in Korea, and that's why there are actually a decent amount of like Dongwon players. By the way. Oh yeah,
it's delicious. I have a lot of opinions on your hot pepper tuna, but and that's some other point, I suppose.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Rogue just, doing Rogue things, playing to about the standard that we expect from a Zerg player or at least in this current meta, going for a bit of an earlier Spire here.
Yeah, quite an early Spire. Again, off of 2 bases, the third wasn't even halfway complete when he threw it down. And so, yeah, he is cutting a bit of corners. Going for an earlier Spire like this does delay your upgrades, you know, your Evo chambers. Meanwhile, Ryung, yo, he's gonna go for a timing, and Armory is on the way.
And honestly, that's a lot of Hellions out there right now. I don't see any Banelings as of yet. It is just Lings and these 2 Queens. Did Rogue decide to go a little bit too greedy here?
Oh my god.
It's absolutely possible. There's basically nothing here for Rogue.
Yeah, there is nothing. Like, there was a good opportunity because, you know what, the Banelings were morphed in at the last moment, but Ryung, he's not feeling confident. He doesn't push in.
That's a bit of a feels bad if I'm being honest here, Light.
Right? Like, there was like 2 Queens at the front, a handful of Lings. Banelings weren't even morphed in. Finally, Ryung is deciding to poke in. The problem is that, like, he was afraid because there were no workers at the third base, which is like, oh my god, like, there must be something coming. He doesn't realize that what's coming is our mutas. Yeah,
something that the Hellions not going to really be doing much against. 4 Lings slipped in and decided not to harass much. Literally just for scouting.
Yeah, they're just scouting. Meanwhile, the mutas are coming across the map. It looks like Ryung does spot the mutas in the center. He realizes, oh god, now I have to do something with these Hellions. Like, they're not going to do anything against the mutas.
And now they're coming through. Ryung trying to pump out these Thors as quick as he can, but I'm not too sure that that's going to be too effective here. Like, Thors, they take a long time to make, and even now we see that they're barely past the halfway point of production.
Yeah, exactly. The mutas, they deny all the mining time at the natural. Sure, Missile Turret is being made, sure, Thors are being made, but again, like, these mutas, they were only just spotted as they were halfway across the map.
Unfortunately, we don't quite have game heart, but 18 FCVs have gone down in total this game. Massive chunk of them to this muta assault. Ryung, he is so down in workers. It is hard to see him really coming back from this, but let's not be too pessimistic here. This is Terran on 3 orbital commands.
It is, and bearing in mind that Ryung is playing mech, which is a more turtly favored style of Terran as well, so if he's able to establish himself on 3 bases and hold on 3 bases, then maybe he can end up like in a favorable position later on. But at the moment, Rogue, it's going to be so difficult for Ryung to expand and take a 4th.
That it will. His best bet right now is turtling, and Rogue, he's aware of this. He is just, you know, building up to his next phase. He's just getting that Roach Horn ready to be able to counter the mech cell that Ryung is going for. So it's a bit of a lose-lose scenario right now for Ryung. He needs to do damage across the map, but doesn't have the composition to do so.
Exactly, and Rogue, he's just diving in with these mutas again. Like, these mutas, they kind of have like a time limit on them, and Rogue has decided not to continue to invest in the mutas. He is switching into roaches instead, and now, like, he's already gotten 18 SCV kills. Like, now he's getting more
and more, even getting these refineries here. And considering that Ryung is going for that mech style, that is arguably more important right now than any of the SCVs in the mineral line.
Oh yeah, both gas refineries were taken out, again denying that gas, and that's so valuable to pump out more and more Thors and tanks as well. And I mean, sure, a decent amount of these mutas being chunked away, but mate, we got a bunch of roaches.
That we do, and it's starting to dwarf the army supply that Ryung has right now. Bring them into Ravagers. Hello, stuck roaches.
Oh, poor roaches. They just want to be Ravagers like their brethren. And yeah, Rogue is just going to be going across the map, almost maxed out with Roach Ravager and a handful of mutas. And we'll see if he's able to break this position. Again, like, this is the best opportunity for Ryung to really trade favorably and just continue to turtle up and just, you know, push away the wave of Zerg that's going to be headed his way.
Yeah, we're gonna have to keep an eye on the positioning over here of the mech army. Started to stop producing tanks right now. Ryung, he's not aware that Rogue has completely switched into Roach Ravager.
Now he's aware.
There are only 4. Yeah, now he's aware. This gives him a bit of time. Let's see how many tanks he can pump out from here.
Oh god, 2 tanks do get biled down. A 3rd tank gets biled down as well. Widowmine shots do go off. There's only a handful of Ravagers left.
Yeah, and honestly, if those Widowmines, you know, if they can land on some of these Ravagers instead of the roaches, I think that is best case scenario for Ryung. But yeah, even then, this does not look likely. Rogue pushing his way through. GG is called, and Rogue taking game number 1.
GGN. There was a lot of opportunity there for Ryung if he had committed to his Hellbat timing. Like that was like, again, like Rogue didn't really have a lot there. Ryung, he was just a little bit too scared to go in.
Yeah, he's gonna watch that replay later and he'll be kicking himself. He'll be thinking, man, why didn't I push in then with all these Hellions?
Yeah, exactly. And like, even if he didn't deal too much damage, like if he had dove in and at least scouted the Spire, right? Like that would have been huge.
Absolutely. He'd been in a much better position going forward. Be able to, you know, actually counter that and then have some prevent Rogue from taking all the tempo.
Yeah, definitely. And with that Rogue,
that was, yeah, with that Rogue is gonna be advancing in this series with a win under his belt. But I do think that was about how, you know, most of us expected a Rogue game to go, at least against Ryung.
Yeah, again, like Ryung, he is returning to the game, but he isn't, you know, anywhere near as good as he once was. Or I should say, you know, it's hard to compete with some of these players who have been consistently playing all of these years where Ryung has been on a hiatus. And yeah, again, such a tough ask going up against Rogue in the first round.
But let's see if he can actually start turning this around here on Lightshade LE. We're in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, starting all the way in the bottom right-hand corner of the map. We have the red Terran player. The red is for Hot Pepper. That's how because he's spicy. He is gonna be currently teamless, but always repping Axiom, the Tuna Terran, Ryung.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Lightshade LE, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming DPG. It is Rogue.
I forgot to include in that intro that Ryung is also the one whose name is on my keyboard.
Yeah, you didn't mention it. Fun fact for the people in the chat, obviously there's a deep history between the CranKy Ducklings and Axiom, and a part of that is, you know, I have an Axiom branded Crank keyboard, and Yaku, you recently acquired a keyboard of your own.
Yeah, it's Axiom branding-ish. I didn't go for the one that I actually don't remember who designed it. I'm going to assume Zook or maybe Jenna Bain. I'm going to assume it was one of those two who designed that keyboard. I didn't go for that. I went for, you know, getting my own colors down, but I did get the Axiom branding around it. So for things like the escape key, the Windows keys, and especially the space bar, which they included player names for.
Yeah, it's got the player name, their IRL name, their race logo. It's pretty cool. So yeah, I guess like if you're an old school Axiom fan, fun fact, WASDA, they do allow you to make like custom requests, and they still have the Axiom branding like templates in their like memory banks. So like if you request for a custom keyboard, like they're willing to give it to you.
That they are.
Oh, but here we are again, one of the old Axiom boys, Ryung. He is back, and it'll be insane. Again, it's not exactly likely, but if he's able to take a map here off of Rogue.
Yeah, that'd just be the dream right now. But Dream isn't playing here.
No, he is not. And again, like the big question is like, Ryung, is he just back to, you know, just ladder and stream, or does he seriously want to try and compete again? This is kind of the beginning of it. Like, you know, depending on how he does here, on if he continues to practice over the course of December as well, going into 2021 and GSL, like it'd be insane if he returns to the game.
I mean, how many players returned from the military, started streaming, and they were like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm just gonna, you know, play for fun. I'm not actually gonna start competing again." Like, but then in the end, they actually did, playing qualifiers and what have you, and then suddenly they're in round of 4 GSL or something.
Yeah, I mean, there are players who have done so, and also done the opposite. Like the biggest names are like Poltz. You know, he came back, competed for a couple of months, and then went to TFT. 4GG similarly came back, played StarCraft 2 for a couple of months, then went to Brood War, I believe. So we'll see what happens with Ryung. Again, there are options available to him, but like as a personal fan, I would love it if he returned as a StarCraft 2 pro gamer.
Again, just that would be the ideal. And speaking of options available to him, he's got him out of game and also in-game Fusion Core coming down. So this will be a bit of range lip mech coming out. No, it's probably going to be BCs.
Oh good, he's gonna get that fast medevac upgrade, if you will. But
he can boost in and out.
Just like he used to back in the day. But yeah, we're gonna be seeing a BC opener coming out from Ryung. He did also get a pretty fast CC as well. Oh my god, he's mining the gas from it. Wow. Is that more efficient?
Efficiency?
Is that actually? It looks a little bit. It looks closer.
It does look closer, but what about the time?
What about the time it takes to float it over? You mean? Yeah.
Well,
give and take, right?
Yeah, definitely give and takes there. But I mean, if you want to pump out that gas as early as possible in order to get the BC out, then I mean, may as well. You're only delaying your later resources. Yeah,
definitely. Meanwhile, we have Rogue going for a fast Roach Warren, and double Evos as well, much faster lair. So this time, not opting to go for a Spire.
Yeah, which can be his downfall here. See how many queens he gets. Is starting to build a couple of spores, but he is being dedicated to the Roach style here. Yeah, which is fair. I mean, Ryung, he's been back, and I mean, he's been playing a lot of mech. There we go, 2 more factories being thrown down.
Oh yeah. I mean, he is one. He's not afraid to go mech. Again, it was him and Gumi Ho who were kind of the Terrans back in the day who would delve into mech in this matchup whenever they could. And when it comes to Rogue, I'm so surprised. If you look at his vision, he has not scattered across the map at all. He has no idea what Ryung is doing.
He is so confident right now.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I don't blame him, but like as a result, we'll see if he's going to be prepared for the BCs that are going to be coming in.
Yeah, that's really going to be the question. Here comes the first one, and it does draw every single drone out of mineral line. The queens do come back, and there are a decent number of them. Don't quite have transfuse energy, though. Oh, I don't think it's the best position to have that BC in. The Hellions dive in. This is what we wanted in the previous game. They do not get stuck, actually. They manage to sneak on through, dodging the roaches, and they get even more drones. This is absolutely what Ryung needed to punish Rogue's, what's the word here I'm thinking of, like? Not
Greed?
Overconfidence, greed.
There we go, as in the end, 18 drones have gone down for Rogue. The problem is that Rogue is still at a decent count, you know, more or less equal with the worker count of Ryung, and now he's going across the map for a bit of a counterattack.
Yeah, a bit of a counterattack, but not a very effective one. Not really taking out too many SCVs. The roaches, though, we have something to say about that. Tank's not quite out for Ryung yet.
Exactly, with just pure Hellion? Like, where's the BC? The BC needs to be here to defend, and it is teleporting in.
But BCs, they do, especially just a single BC, it does little more than just tickle these roaches. The tanks are absolutely what Ryung needs right now, and they do finally pop out, but they're starting to get targeted. I mean, he can't afford to siege them up. Not when, and risk friendly fire on his own SCVs.
Yeah, exactly.
But he also doesn't have much of a buffer for them.
Yeah, and nice micro there. Ryung was actually able to keep both of his tanks alive. One of them almost went down, but in the end, Ryung will clean everything up, not before losing 17 SCVs.
And when it's all is said and done, Rogue, he was a little bit annoyed at that opening from Ryung. Taking them out and leaving them with 20 less SCVs.
Yeah, it's important to know that when he saw the BC, he immediately threw down the Spire. So now we have Mutas out on the map, and what shoots up? Only the BC for Ryung.
Yeah, and that's not exactly going to do much here.
Yeah,
like, quick SCV repair, though, does help.
Yeah, the DPS isn't very high. It's slow as well, so the Mutas, they can just avoid it. They just dive straight into the main base, and again, there's no missile turrets.
Yeah, taking out every single one of these SCVs, or most of them anyway. I do like the little bit of reversal that Rogue has here. Went from from Spire into a Roach switch in game 1, and this time, completely different.
Yeah, exactly. And
rather, GG is called. Sorry, you were saying that.
Go for the button. Go for the button.
My phone is like. GG Rogue. He's gonna be enjoying that spicy tuna here as a bit of an appetizer, going on to round number 2 to face either Patience or Zhao Yun.